and totally laid back about it. "Don't know what this is all about," the young man said casually to Miss Fennel, pulling a crumpled letter out of his jacket pocket. "But I thought I'd better come along and see, just in case there's anything in it for me. I'm Martin Pickford, if you need to know." "Of course," murmured Miss Fennel, who didn't need to know, and in any case had documented a great deal more about young Mr. Pickford than he could ever have supposed. "You never know with solicitors," he went on, suggesting that he had already had some unfavourable interaction with them. He sniffed. "Slippery fellows, if you ask me, and never on the side of the innocent motorist." Since Miss Fennel, loyal member of Beerbury's longest-standing legal firm, could not possibly agree with this sentiment, she again said nothing. "Don't usually get out and about as early as this either," he added unnecessarily. "I mostly work from home, and I overslept. Flexible hours and all that." Miss Fennel had already realized this, since the young man was unshaven and his hair tousled. Whether he was also unwashed was something about which she was keeping an open mind so far. There was a livid bruise down one side of his face, and one of his front teeth was missing. "But needs must, I suppose," he said, shrugging his shoulders. "I admit it doesn't happen often." "If you will just wait in here, Mr. Pickford," she said, opening the waiting-room door. "I'll let Mr. Puckle know that you've arrived." Whilst all of the existing occupants had looked up as the man entered the room, limping slightly, none of them spoke or appeared to recognize the new arrival, although Clive Culshaw, still making it quite obvious that he was a busy man, did look first at his watch in a meaningful manner, and then at Miss Fennel as she closed the door behind her. Even so, it was a little while before Miss Fennel reappeared. "Mr. Puckle will see you now," she announced. Since she had looked at none of them in particular when she spoke, all four people sitting there looked up expectantly. Clive Culshaw had even started to rise from his seat when she added, "All of you." "All of us?" echoed Samantha Peters uncertainly, waving a hand round the room. "I mean, I don't know any of these other people." "Me neither," said Martin Pickford, the dishevelled young man who had been the latest to arrive. He peered blearily round at the others, and then added uncertainly, "At least, I don't think so." "I'm quite sure I don't," said Clive Culshaw decisively. He brandished the letter he had brought with him again. "And the writer of this didn't say anything about any other people being involved when he wrote." "Nor to me either," said Samantha Peters. "I'm sure Mr. Puckle will be able to explain everything when he sees you all," said Miss Fennel. "The operative word being all, I suppose," mumbled Martin Pickford, clambering to his feet rather unsteadily, the fact that he had a limp becoming more apparent. "If you will please come this way," said Miss Fennel, not deigning to respond to this. "You will find Mr. Puckle is waiting for you in his room." Mr. Simon Puckle was indeed waiting for them in his room. He rose with an old-fashioned courtesy as they entered, and shook hands rather formally with each of them in turn. "I expect," he began pleasantly, "you are all wondering why you have been asked to come this morning." "Yes, indeed," said Clive Culshaw, nevertheless casting another furtive glance at his watch. The solicitor indicated a large folder on the desk in front of him. "And how it comes to be that, although I can advise you all that you have a common interest in what I have to say, you don't, as far as I am aware, know each other." "We don't," said Clive Culshaw flatly, looking round. "Not as far as I am concerned, anyway. I don't think that I have ever seen any of these people here in my life before." He didn't sound as if he regretted this. "Nor me," said Samantha Peters. Mrs. Sue Port looked round curiously at the other three, and then shook her head. "I don't think I have, either." "Can we get on?" asked Martin Pickford plaintively. He was holding his head in his hands now. Simon Puckle gave a little cough and cleared his throat preliminary to saying, "You and one other person who has been delayed, and another man who cannot for the time being be traced, have all been invited here as a consequence of the recent death of an old lady called Clementina Henderson." "Who?" asked Samantha Peters. "Never heard of her," mumbled Martin Pickford. "Or, come to that, anyone else called Clementina." "Me neither," said Samantha Peters, looking mystified. "Actually," admitted Martin Pickford, "I thought Clementina was an orange."